in that vein, I guess, was this follow-up story that we saw about YouTube. These two YouTubers that were deported from Bali following a prank video. And if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. No, you can't check it out. It's been pulled. But essentially, someone just one of them painted a face mask on their face and pretended that they were still wearing it and went around and, under the guise that they were claiming to entertain people, but obviously drew the ire of the local authorities, and they're seeing the bad end of it. And it just, again, I think this is kind of like the clickbaity Joe Rogan story where someone's like trying to push too hard in one direction to get those clicks, and again, another farce that comes out. Look,
this is pretty funny, but I guess it ranks alongside of in the aftermath of 9/11 with, saying I've got a bomb at the airport when you get frustrated. So, it's humour running directly into regulations, and typically regulations win, even if it is funny.
Absolutely. But just on that, and I guess with those two stories in particular kind of highlight the fact that so much can be sort of spun out of control on the internet, and you have to question what is actually news that you're watching, and almost the recommendation that you're probably better off unplugging for good chunks of your week and not getting hung up on a lot of this stuff, because it just seems to be never ending, and it's almost accelerating almost. It's, to not to put a downer on it, but it just seems to be getting worse and worse. I mean, I remember having a discussion earlier in the week about if the pandemic had happened 20 years ago, and if how would the public have reacted in 20 years ago? And I was thinking back then, okay, well, the news media was probably taken more seriously, so people probably would have just broadly listened to what was said on the news. They probably would have listened to what political leaders would have said straight off the bat. And that's not to say that there wouldn't be people complaining, but you probably would have had less of a protesty type movement and lots of various fringe type of reactions to things like this, which we're seeing today.
Yeah, I mean, I had to think about this myself, and initially I thought there would have been more fear 20 years ago, because to get information, well, what causes fear in humans typically is lack of information. But then I sort of thought about it, and I thought about all the mental health issues that have occurred over the last year, which, are mainly due to anxiety associated with the lockdown. And I don't know, I don't have any evidence, but I'd be very interested in knowing if a lot of the over-information caused the anxiety that led to the mental health issues. So maybe we're no better off. Maybe it's all bad, just different.